and today I'm going to show you a little recap from Goodreads about all the books that I read in 2023, which was very less. And you know, the reading challenge that I had to go through was actually I had to read a total of 50 books, and then I got it down to 30, and I couldn't even read those 30 books, and I read very few, but I thought that I should talk about it more so that I get, you know, a little bit of motivation so that I can read more in 2024. Recap of all the books that I read in 2023, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So let's get into the video. Alright, so my year in books, I read a total of 5,524 pages, which seems a lot, but it is actually not, because if you count it as books, I just read 14 books and that's it, and that makes it, you know, mostly, you know, one book a month. As soon as I start making those videos, somebody has to knock on the door and, you know, disturb me. Anyways, now the shortest book that I read was actually A Kingdom of Blood and Betrayal, which is in the black section right there. And the longest book that I read was actually The Haunting Adeline. No wonder Hunting Adeline was so huge, and I had to struggle through each and every, you know, chapter. It was really hyped up, and I knew that I'm not gonna like it, because as soon as I thought that I'm gonna like it, but as soon as I started reading it, I knew that I'm not gonna like it, because it was, you know, a bit, I would say, a bit weird, in the sense that these are the kind of books that I do not fall for. You know, I like fantasy. Fantasy is my favorite genre, but at the same time, I would not fall for or would not vouch for anything that is weird. The worst thing with me is that even if I start a book and I do not like it, I have to finish it. And so I had to finish Hunting Adeline, and the duology was huge. Let me show you to you guys. The duology was actually huge. I mean, just look at that. I mean, I have read huge books, and I would not say that this is huge, because I have Go to Wings and Ruins. I have, you know, Akatar as well, and this is like, what? Say 700 pages long. This is 700 pages long, and this book is very close to my heart. I'm going to be, you know, giving a review on this book as well, but if you look at this one, I would say this one was more longer than this one, because this had my interest and I wanted to read it, but this one, not at all. I did not want to read it at all. So it's huge, and if you read the duology, obviously you're going to have to read two books that you have no interest in, and you just have to read it, because, you know, I'm insane like that. So anyways, this was the huge book that I read in 2023. The average book length in 2023 was actually 394, so I did not read two huge books. They were just, you know, 394 pages long. You know, that's the thing. If they have huge chapters and the books, you know, very short, a reader cannot read that. But if they have very short chapters, the book is huge, you can easily read it. I don't know what this concept is, or who came up with the concept, or maybe you all did, but at the same time, yeah. The most shelved book was actually Where the Crawdads Sing, which was 52,940, which is huge. I mean, a lot of people read that, because mainly because the movie came out, and most of the people wanted to read it before the movie. So yeah, the least shelved was actually A Kingdom of Venom and Vows. No wonder I did not like this book as well. I've been reading really bad books this past year. Maybe that is the reason why I read only 14 books, and I read this last year, Haunting Adeline. I read this last year, which, you know, doesn't sound very exciting, right? So this was basically the least shelved, which was also 36,643, which is not bad, to be honest. 36,000 people like me who shelved the book and they wanted to read it, so not bad. The most highest rated on Goodreads was actually Where the Crawdads Sing. The book was really amazing. As soon as I started reading it, I knew that the movie would be amazing. The book, the character development and everything, I have actually uploaded a review on the Where the Crawdads Sing on my YouTube channel, so you can go there and, you know, have a look at it. My 2023 books. Now, the list, right? So I read Caraval, which had Caraval, Legendary and Finale, and it's a trilogy. The book is amazing. I'm going to be uploading a review on that very soon. So that coming soon. And then Where the Crawdads Sing. Where the Crawdads Sing was actually, you know, an amazing book. And the movie was kind of rushed, right? But at the same time, when you have a book that is like, you know, 300 or 400 pages long, and then when a movie comes out, and then you're like, okay, the movie is like only 2 or 3 hours long, so they cannot stretch it for more. So I felt like it was a bit rushed, and there were a few things that I actually mentioned in my video, so you can actually go and have a look at that. Then I read The Unhoneymooners. The Unhoneymooners, I loved it. To be honest, I loved it because I read this, The Spanish Love Deception, not this year, I guess. It wasn't this year, it was in 2022, and it has a very close place to my heart, right? And since 2022, I've been looking for a romance book that could, grasp my attention, that could get me there. So I then read The Love Hypothesis, and I did not like it. Maybe because I read it right after The Spanish Love Deception, and the book did not give me all those feels that Spanish Love Deception did, and I did not like it at all. And then I did not read any romance books, I guess. But then when I started reading The Unhoneymooners, I knew that instant that I'm going to start loving it, and I did. Every single thing about the book was amazing. It's just a normal, love story with just, a different plot. Two people, they go into close proximity and, start, interacting with each other, and then I'm not going to ruin anything because a review will be coming out very soon, so stay tuned for that. I read It Starts With Us last year, which is the second book to It Ends With Us, and I don't know, It Ends With Us has very mixed reviews, and I read it in a single day, and the book's ending was actually good, I would say that, but the book itself was just, okayish. And then when I read It Starts With Us, it did not give me those feels and the closure and everything that I wanted. But anyways, when I read the books, the duology, Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline, I did not like it even a bit. The reason again I would say that I did not like reading books and I only read 14 was because the amount of books or the type of books that I read in 2023 were not good. And everybody was reading it, and it was all over TikTok, it was all over Instagram, and I downloaded the books and I ordered it, and I started reading it, but I did not like it at all. So the duology, but I had to complete it. So I did, and it actually added to my list of books that I read last year, but it did not make that much of a difference. Anyways, and then I read another duology, which was A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. And the first book was actually called A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. The second was A Kingdom of Blood and Betrayal. The book was. It was actually a trilogy. Yeah, it was actually a trilogy. But last year I read 2 because I think I read 3. Because the first 2 books came out, and then that's when I got to know about it. The story was amazing. It was about the brother, the girl falls in love with, and it was a fantasy story, but the way it was written and the way everything was, unraveling, the character development, everything was just weird. So I did not like that at all. Anyways, then I read The Things We Do in the Dark. It was beautiful. Now, I have it here, The Things We Do in the Dark, right? The book is huge, and it's actually not huge. A tragedy happened with me once again, just like it did with The Final Gambit. So what happened was that there are actually 2 books in the same book. I actually ordered it from somewhere, and they printed the books, and it's not original, and they printed the books, and they mistakenly got 2 books into one cover, and so I'm gonna get a new one very soon. But the book was so good, and I wanted to read something thrilling, a different genre than fantasy, or maybe actually fantasy, because last year I read a lot of fantasy books, not many romance books, and so I read this book. The book is really amazing, and I kept posting on my Instagram that the book is amazing. I loved it. The book was just amazing. It was actually about this girl who goes through a lot of stuff, and she encounters a lot of stuff. She has to make a living for herself, and there are a lot of twists and turns. There are 2 stories at the same time that are unraveling, and you never know how they're linked up, and then they link up by the middle of the book, or maybe by 75% when you're through the book. So it's very different, and I would recommend you all to go and start reading it. And then I read The Inheritance Games, and then The Hawthorne Legacy. I've actually uploaded a video regarding this. This book, amazing. And I finished The Final Gambit this year in January, so that will be in my recap for 2024. And I am so sad that I actually read only 1 book in January, and now I'm currently reading another one, which will be in February, obviously, because it's February now, and I don't know when I'm going to upload this vlog. But The Inheritance Games has a very close place to my heart, and all of these books that I did not like, The Unhoneymooners and The Caravel with the Crawdad Sing, was actually towards the start of the year, and the start of the year was really good. But when I started reading the Haunting Adeline duology and the other trilogies and all that, I did not like it at all, and I was basically in a reading slump. I used to read a few pages a day, not even that. I used to, hate reading and all that. And then when I got to Inheritance Games, I'm really glad that I started reading it when I actually had the books for 1.5 year, 1 year, and I started reading it and I loved it, to be honest. I loved the books, and you guys can go over to my to my review and actually have a look at it. And I loved it so much that I wanted to upload a review, and I'm glad that I did, because I'm Team Grayson. I'm going to repeat it all the time, and it's going to be all over my Instagram, it's going to be all over my TikTok, it's going to be everywhere, and I'm going to announce it in every single video that I make about books, that I really, really like Grayson. And there are a lot of reasons, and I feel like I should make a separate video for Grayson because he's just amazing. I read about 14 out of 30 books. Now I have a lot of tabs open on my laptop because I was actually working, and I thought I should make a video because I was going through my Goodreads and I was updating and stuff, and I came across this 2023 reading recap, and I thought I should make a video on that, and so I decided to make one. This is going to be a very small video because it doesn't really have much, and I would recommend Goodreads to actually add a lot of stuff, a bit more to the recap, just like we have Spotify recap and we have YouTube recap and all that. So I would recommend Goodreads to actually go and add a lot of stuff that could make us very excited, that could make us look forward to that 2023-2024 recap. And yeah, so this was basically my recap. I read about 14 books in 2023. How many books did you guys read? Now there's a new challenge that I read about. You have to read books according to your height. You just stack them up and you see how many books you read in 2023. So a girl actually achieved that, and I really loved it, but the amount of books that she read were like 56 or something. So I have to actually start reading a lot of books for that, and fingers crossed, I really want to do this. But last year was very busy. I hope this year gets better, but I don't think it's getting better because I only read one book in January. But I'm hoping I would read more books in the coming months. How many books did you guys read in 2023? Let me know, and you guys can share your 2023 Goodreads recap with me. Just find me on Goodreads. It's basically Alika Shafkat, and yeah, just share it with me and comment down below. And I just want to know how many books you guys read, and maybe this could give me motivation to read more in 2024. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.